Welcome to this instructional video about learning in context. The purpose of this video is to reflect on the meaning of learning in context and the role of the global contexts in the MYP. The audience for this video are educators who are new to the MYP. First, I would like to explain how this video is organized. In the first part, I will present how global contexts are presented in IB documents. In the second part, I will share an appreciation of the role of global context in the design of concept-based learning scenarios. And finally, in the third part, I will reflect on the question, what is inside a global context? The global contexts in the MYP are relevant because they provide continuity from PYP to MYP. In PYP, learning is designed through transdisciplinary themes. The transdisciplinary themes in the PYP become the global context in the MYP. Before we continue, I would like to mention that this video does not replace your responsibility to read relevant IB documents in depth. This is only an introductory video. Let's consider this metaphor to talk about learning experiences. If the stadium were to represent the space in which we explored the relationships between key and related concepts, then the global context is what provides this experience with a connection to the real world. And when the relationship between the key and the related concepts is explored in a real-world situation, the statement of inquiry in which we express the relationship between the key and related concepts will become the enduring understanding that teachers and students will remember once the unit has come to an end. The global contexts suffer from a sad misconception in a very similar way to the learner profile. There are educators who only consider the names of the attributes in the learner profile and the names of the global contexts, and they make an assumption about their essence. If we look at the descriptors for each of the attributes of the IB learner profile, we will find a series of dispositions, life skills, and ideals that can help us make connections with concepts, content, and ATL skills. In the same way, each global context has a guiding question and some possible explorations that we can consider when we design our teaching and learning. However, there is one aspect that we must not ignore. Let us look at the descriptors below the guiding question. Each global context includes a series of broader concepts that allow us to articulate our curriculum with the PYP. As we said before, the PYP transdisciplinary themes become global context in MYP. Also, since all the subject groups have to design teaching and learning based on global contexts, which is an approach to teaching in the IB, the global context becomes the entry point of affinity for all subject groups. Let's explore a situation we may encounter while designing learning. Let's imagine we will design a unit about the internet as a network or a system that provides access to information. This could be a unit that language and literature, language acquisition, individuals and societies, or maybe even mathematics could explore. We have two choices, or in other words, two possible directions: fairness and development, and globalization and sustainability. We must remember that before we make a decision, we need to look at the exploration in each global context to determine how our inquiry will develop. So, for example, from fairness and development, we may select the impact of scientific and technological advances. And from globalization and sustainability, we may decide to explore the relationship between local and global processes. Now, we should be able to see how the learning that we are about to design may take very different directions, depending on the choice that we make. This is the reason why reflecting on the exploration we will develop is crucial. From these two global contexts, we could also choose two completely different directions. For example, from fairness and development, we could explore how humans adapt environments to their needs. And in globalization and sustainability, we could explore the tensions provided by a world interconnectedness. I invite you to try this exercise with another unit of yours. Remember to look into the explorations of the global contexts before you make your decision about the direction you would like your unit to take. As we arrive at the conclusion of this video, I would like to encourage you not to consider learning as something linear or as a collection of topics to cover, but to consider the impact learning can have when it's contextualized in a real-life situation.